Welcome, this is Utsav Chakma from Uju Studio. Today we will learn basics of Unreal Engine. Make sure you have Unreal Engine installed. If it is not the case, watch this video to learn how to install Unreal Engine on your PC. So let's start with creating projects. To create a project, we will have to open Unreal Engine first. First open Unreal Engine. So after opening Unreal Engine, you will see this setup. Over here, we can see which projects we have created before using Unreal Engine today. But you will have to actually know how to create a project. To create a project, this is not the right tab. You will have to click on blank project, and this is where you will have to create the projects from inside Unreal Engine launcher. Now that you have came to the blank projects tab, you will have to set up some things. First of all, you will have to name your project. It is where to name your project on the project name. But make sure they are in words. There are no special marks like these things, as you can see. With this red mark, you can see it is saying that you will only have to alphabetic characters, not the symbols. Alphabetic characters are A, B, C, D, last to Z. For us, let's name the project as tutorial project, since we are actually not creating a serious project but learning project. And over here, I recommend you to use C++. I don't recommend Blueprint because Blueprint is actually slower and doesn't use the whole power of Unreal Engine either. So choose C++. You can uncheck this starter content for now. We will make our game only for desktop devices. You will have to switch to desktop. Then quality, if you talk about the quality, keep it on maximum. And the last thing we will have to do is tell Unreal Engine where we want to create the project. It is not inside your Unreal Engine but inside your file explorer that you will have to create your project on. So first of all, let's configure out where do you want to put your projects on. Usually I put my projects on, this is the directory where I actually keep my projects. So this is the part I want to go on and create my project on. Now let's tell it to Unreal Engine. To tell it, minimize your file explorer and come back to Unreal Engine launcher. Click on this browse folder icon and navigate to that directory where you want to put your project on. I said I put my projects on my projects, and over here, after navigating to where you want to create your project, click on the select folder and your project will be created inside this directory. Just create the project and a folder will be created automatically inside your project directory that you have browsed to and wanted to put your project on. After opening the project, this is what you will actually see. Right now, we will actually not need keep the editor open. So what we will do is close the editor like this. By pressing this cross button, we actually close the editor. We will actually have to see where the project is located on the disk. So where is it located? It is located right where you have browsed your project during creating it. So the project you created was put under this thing that we have just talked about earlier. This is the project tutorial. Wherever you put your project on, there will be a folder created by the name of that project, and that project is the file folder of your project. So this is the project. There are many kinds of folders, right? You will actually have to need to know only about 3 folders. One is this main project tutorial, which will open the tutorial project in the Unreal Engine editor. The source file contains all the C++ files, and finally this content contains all the assets, visual assets. Now how to delete a project, right? Epic doesn't recommend you to delete a project. So what you will have to do to delete a project is delete it manually. To delete it, go to the directory where your project is located and click on this thing and right click on it, and you'll have to press the delete button or simply press the delete button on your keyboard. But we will not do that, okay? Because we are not going to delete but except open the project. Let's get into the editor where we will learn the basics of Unreal Engine. To do that, close the file explorer and let's open the project again. So this is what you will see when you open your Unreal Engine project. This is a layout that you can actually change. You can drag and drop these tabs. You can see these are called tabs. such as this is the outliner tab, this is called the details tab, this is the levels tab. In the levels tab you have the viewport, which actually is made to design your environment of your game. Nothing is like this. I mean, if you mess up these tabs like this, but you want to restore back the default layout when you open your project for the first time, you will have to go to Window, Load Layout, Default Editor Layout. So you can see after messing up, we have restored the old layout again. So over here, this is the default layout, but we will use actually another layout, which is actually UE4 default layout. So how do we bring UE4 layout if it is good, right? So you will actually have to go to Window again, click on Load Layout, and click on this UE4 Classic layout. This is the default layout of Unreal Engine 4. And now whatever, you can see there are several more windows. Now let's get into the viewport first. This is the window of viewport. The viewport works just like an FPS game. On FPS game, you move your mouse to look around and press WASD keys to move around. The viewport is actually kind of the same thing. In the viewport, make sure your mouse is inside the viewport. You will have to click and hold right mouse button and move your mouse. If you move your mouse to right, it will look right. If you move your mouse to left, it will look left. And same for the up and down. So it's just like an FPS game, right? Now if you press W, you will go forward, S to go backward, A to go left, D to go right. Now you can also press E to go up and Q to go down. So these keyboard keys are actually just like FPS games. Now the move speed is not correct, okay? So you are moving pretty slow over here. To increase this movement speed, you will actually have to scroll up your middle mouse button, so it will become faster. If you scroll down, then it will become slower. So afterwards, yeah. Now a game actually stays with actors or game objects. The actors or game objects can be created from content browser or from place actors tab. If you don't see this place actors tab, you will actually have to tick the button on window, place actors, this one, and it will make a window called place actors appear. We can call it window or tab. It works the both way. But whatever, on the place actors tab, let's place a cube on the viewport from place actors tab, right? Let's place a cube, which is a shape. Under shapes category, you see this cube, drag and drop it over here, and it is dragged and dropped over here. Now how do you move, rotate or increase or decrease the size? Usually you will have to select with the left mouse button. If you select the landscape, left mouse button on there. Let's left click on cube. This thing you can see, these arrows are the things that you can move your object through. Well, you are controlling this movement from this step. This is called the move button. Whenever you press an object, this move button will appear, this move arrows. When you click and move your mouse, you will see the actor will start to move. Z is up to down, which is green. Y is left to right. This is actually the right axis to move an object, and the red thing you can see is called x-axis, which is for moving object front and back. This is back, this is front. Now if you want to rotate your object, change this move tool to rotate tool. Now if you move these things, each axis rotates different axis, different sides of the object you have selected. And now if you want to make it bigger or smaller, press this thing. This is called the scale tool. On here, if you move these things, you will see the object is becoming bigger and smaller in different axes and different sides. If you want to deselect, press ESC. If you want to select again, just move your mouse on it and left click ESC to deselect it. Okay. Now we will to move along it on somewhere else. Depending on where the object is rotated, you will have to press this thing, toggle this thing, and it will, you can see the arrow shape change right at the object's rotation, and by the rotation you can actually change the direction of where the object is moving or facing. If you press it again, it will become default and you will start to move it in world space. So these are the buttons 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is for moving, this is for rotating, this is for scaling, and this is for changing the angle. Well, this is actually the viewport. We've talked the basics about viewport. There are more things that we will discuss in future in this YouTube channel. But let's now move to content browser. This is called content browser. These things you can see inside this content browser. Well, this is basically a file explorer. You control it just like you control things in file explorer. These are called folders. Inside these folders there can be files, and this everything inside this thing you see is actually everything inside the file explorer directory of your project. Like this, if you go to the file explorer, you can see this content directory of your project. This contains everything. This levels thing you can see, this folder is visible here, and the blueprints folder you see, this is also visible on here. So these folders, every folder you will see on here, almost every folder can be seen on here. So what you control on here is actually controllable things on here. So every time you add a folder, it will actually be visible on here, and you can edit, delete those folders from file explorer just as you do in the content browser. It is recommended you don't delete from the file explorer or add anything else from the file explorer. Instead you will use Unreal Engine's built-in folder and file explorer called content browser. This explores everything inside your project. So yeah, there are also, I said, art assets, right? Audio assets. Well, they can also be visible on here. If they are visible here, they are also visible on file explorer. So there are some kinds of files that we usually use to make a game. Most common assets are skeletal mesh, static meshes, blueprints and levels that you can create in this file explorer. Let's create a folder called blueprints where we will store all the blueprints or game objects. So to do that, what we will have to do, right click on it and click on this new folder thing, and now you will name it with keyboard on here, BLUEPRINT. Now there you go, blueprint folder has been created. This is how to create a folder or a file or anything else. Currently we are working only with folders. We will work with files later. Let's say we want to change the name. We don't want to name it blueprint. To rename this thing, what we will do, there are two ways to rename it. Right click and click on rename, and with your keyboard you will actually name it like this. Or you can also click on the folder and press F2 on your keyboard and you can name it something else. Let's add the blueprint. Click the right button and press S and enter to accept the new name. Now the folder has been named from blueprint to blueprints. To move things, well, the best way to move is dragging and dropping. Well, click on this levels folder and let's say, well, how do you move the levels folder to blueprints? Well, click on your levels folder, drag and drop it to blueprints folder you see, and click on move here. If you click on copy here, then it will be copied. If you click move here, then it will only be moved. Well, press move here since we are actually wanting to move it there like this, and afterwards we can actually do the same thing for copy. Okay, now we will actually copy it. Let's copy it here like this, drag and drop it and drag and drop it into the content folder. Click on copy here and a copy of the level will be created on here. So the level folder is now on here, which is copied to here. Let's say we want to delete a folder or file. To delete a folder or file, you just go to that folder and click it. This is the folder we will actually delete on here. Now to delete it, you right click on it and press on the delete, or you can simply select it and press the delete key to delete it. So the folder have been deleted. Let's say we want to save a level, okay? This untitled level, this is not saved. This star mark on something means it is not saved or stored in your project, which means if you close your project, it will not be saved. To save it, you will press Ctrl and S and it will ask you where to save it. And Ctrl is not working. Press this thing if it is the case. And we want, now where do we want to save it? We want to save this level right in the levels folder. First name it to level 1 and press the save to save the levels, this level to the levels folder. Now we have created an asset, which is a level, not an art asset by the way. You do the same copy pasting, moving, deleting, the same way we did on the folders, okay? So this is the level that we have opened on here. Now the things you can see on here are all game objects. In Unreal Engine, they are called actors. Now, what are all these objects placed? There are lists for that? Yes, there are actual lists for that. That is called the outliner, which is called hierarchy in Unity. And this is actually listed on this window. You see this skylight actor, this is also listed in this outliner. If you select them, well, you can actually select them with left mouse button. Let's select the cube like this, left mouse button on the cube object, just like that, and it is selected. If you want to deselect it, ESC on your keyboard and it will be deselected. Whenever you select something, it will have some properties visible on the details panel. Go here, move your mouse like this and select an object. Now you will see many kinds of properties or informations about this object we have selected on this details panel. Expand this and you can see these are all the parameters, or you can see informations about this cube, such as where is the object located. This is the location. Is it a static object, stationary or movable? You can select them and set their values. It is a cube, right? Well, you can also select other types of mesh objects, such as this cone, which we will undo by clicking on here. Or you can press Ctrl Z to undo and Ctrl Y to redo. Ctrl Z to undo, just like that, just like in Microsoft Word, right? This is a text field parameter, right? This is actually called vector. Well, we will discuss about those advanced topics later. You can change them from your keyboard, like 4, 5. You can undo them by pressing Ctrl and Z. To save something, save a change, such as moving your object over here, and this location will not be kept. So to keep it, you will actually have to save it. To save it, you will actually have to press Ctrl and S or this button to save the position on here. So whenever you close your project and reopen it, you will see this cube is here, not over here anymore, because we have saved it and stored the new location on here by pressing Ctrl S. To visualize this thing, you will actually have to deselect the object you have selected. Press ESC to deselect and it will be blank again. To select an object, left mouse button right. To deselect, ESC. You can also select multiple objects by pressing Ctrl and selecting different objects, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see I have selected multiple objects by pressing Ctrl and objects I want to select. Press ESC to deselect the same way. How do we add new objects? We will add new objects like this from the Place Actors tab or from here to here. Currently we have these things empty, we have no art assets to drag and drop from here to here, but we can drag and drop from Place Actors from here to here. You can drag and drop lights, let's say cinematic objects like this camera, and move them around the same way. You can press delete to delete them. Also you can rename them by pressing F2 and renaming it on outliner. Let's name it from point light to light. And the naming won't matter, you can name it anything silly, but it will still work. Now you can also copy paste these things, such as selecting an object, then Ctrl C and Ctrl B Now it has created a duplicated object, and you can create duplicates by pressing Ctrl and D2 like this. Select the arrow, press Ctrl and D and move around. You can see we have created another clone of that cube. You can rotate them differently. Again, to save them, ESC and press Ctrl and S or this thing, and the objects you have created will be saved. We can delete by pressing delete key or right clicking on it, edit and delete. And if you want to focus on an object, just select it and press F and it will be focused. Now try to focus by yourself on here. If you don't know how to do that, well, let's see. Just pause, just press on it and press F and it will be focusing on the object that you have selected. This is how to work with Unreal Editor. One last thing, let's discuss it, is switching through levels, different levels. Currently we have only one level called level 1. Go to the levels folder and you will see this is the level. Let's say we have to create another level, naming it level 2. Well, name it level tutorial at least. Level tutorial. Press enter to save your name and press Ctrl S to save it. Now let's open this new level. Currently we are opening this level 1. Let's open level tutorial. So to do that, double click on it, select the shape selected thing, and this is the level, and the level is currently blank, so you can see nothing. So switch back to level 1 now. Yes, let's do that. By double clicking it, you will go to level 1, and yeah, this is how to switch between levels and how to play the game, how to play this game. Okay, so to play this game, press ESC to deselect everything for safety and press this green button and it will start to play the game. Currently this game is running without any kind of code or anything else, so there is no logic or no character on here. To do that, we will actually move on future on another video where we will discuss mainly about characters and assets and many kinds of fundamentals which cannot be covered in this 30-minute video. We will discuss about that later. For now, you press WASD to move your player over here. This is the current player of your game. To close the playtest, press ESC and it will be closed. Afterwards, yeah, I think this is the basic things you will actually have to know. At least that's what I know that is called basic in Unreal Engine. To close a project, since we have been finished the works that we have just done, press on this cross button and Unreal Editor will be closed. If this video helped you, please like the video. If you have questions, I have an FAQ on Discord, but feel free to comment it on here. And for more tutorials, you can subscribe to my channel. Finally, thanks for watching. We will meet on the next video. Bye.